Well, this snowstorm brought us one last taste of winter, at least in terms of what the calendar is going to say. That is because the first day of spring actually starts tomorrow. KTDC's Ryder Blair joining us live at this hour in Northwest Rochester, continuing our coverage from today's weather event. Ryder, you were out and about today, catching up with some folks who had to be out on the roads today. A lot going on. What did you find out?
Yeah, Brock, some people would say here in Rochester, roads were actually fairly decent. As you can see behind me, traffic is flowing pretty normally here in Northwest Rochester on Highway 52. And it's fair to say that this section of the road is actually completely clear. But however, it was a different story south of I-90 in Fillmore County. Now, I spoke with a couple who was traveling to Preston from eastern Iowa today. Dan Davies says they're enjoying their spring break and the beauty of Minnesota despite blizzard-like conditions.
You know, when we took off about noon today, it was just raining and blowing, and I thought, oh, this stuff will blow by. You know, it looked like I was coming and heading up toward northeast. I thought, it'll be done by the time we get here. Not so, apparently.
While driving through the storm, his wife, Chris, says wind and heavy snow were nothing but a thing for travelers who've experienced Minnesota or Iowa winter.
You know, we like to play the tourist when we can get away from town, so a little weather is never going to stop us.
MnDOT says it will have plows and crews working overnight until all roads are cleared and safe to drive on. Just as a reminder, as Sarah said a few moments ago, as temperatures continue to drop below freezing, that sloppy and wet snow from today could turn into some slick and icy spots out on the road. Reporting in Northwest Rochester, I'm Ryder Blair. Brock, back to you.
All right, Ryder, you were down in my neck of the woods today where it was quite a bit different than here in the Med City, so we appreciate you bringing us that perspective tonight. Thank you so much.